live. You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good at Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. Peace, family. I got to turn down the sound because y'all already know they be tripping on the book. Good morning. I hope y'all are well. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, tell somebody we're on the air. Yes, we in here. You can go to iTunes. Let me get the gram in here. You go to iTunes, um, iHeartRadio if you want to hear the music. Got a little jazz playing in the background. You know how I do on Fridays. The Black Love Experience. Welcome to the gram. I see the gram is up. Let me get get the Twitter space up in here. All right, Twitter space is in the building. Today's topic is what it is, man. America is a racist nation. Period. Point blank. That's it, and that's all. So, you know, people still want to deny that. Anybody denying it today is not delusional. They're just lying. They're just deliberately gaslighting, whether they're black or white. They're deliberately gaslighting. There's no way in the world you see everything that's happening in this nation. No way in the world you see this nation trying to bring us back, actively trying to bring us back to Jim Crow and telling us it's not racist. I don't care who you are, particularly the black preachers that are running around here trying to act like it ain't so. The hell with them. Them niggas, I'm sorry. Them Negroes are lying. Um, you know they are. And all of them, I don't even want an apology or anything like that. They can never make the damage that they caused by voting for what they voted for. They can never make up for it ever. They need to be permanently excommunicated from black society. That's my opinion. You know, now some won't agree with me, and you ain't got to. You ain't got to. It's all right if you don't agree with me. But they should be permanently excommunicated from black society. I don't care if they're your friend, your son, your daughter, your mama, whoever they are. They should never get back to the cookout ever again. Period. Y'all call it what you want. Everything that they voted for, mm-mm. Cynthia Moses, I get it. You love the Republicans. You love the Republicans. See, let me help you, Cynthia Moses, since you in my comment section, because you were in my comment section yesterday, and I tried to respectfully respond to you. You're pretending that this is Democrat versus Republican. It's not. No one was ever disenfranchised because they were a Democrat or a Republican. Racism in America predates the Republican Party or the Democrat Party. Okay? Black people were disenfranchised because they're black, predating the current two-party system. And when black people made it to Congress, they purposely gerrymandered districts to get rid of black seats. Gerrymandering started
So pick up a book in case maybe you haven't read up on it. But gerrymandering started to get rid of black people in Congress. That was the purpose of it. And you sitting here pretending that it's about a Republican Democrat thing is the typical cooning that we see all the time when black people pick up white supremacist talking points. Cut it out, sis. Stop it. Stop it. Just cut it out. Just cut it out. It got nothing to do with Democrat, Republican. And you know it. Just stop the gaslighting. We're not going for it today. All right, let's get it, y'all. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781. I already answered that question. You already know it, Cynthia. I answered that question when you put it on one of my posts. Who is they both? Who is they both? Black people do it to white people, Cynthia? See, you keep trying to make racism, you keep trying to make this gerrymandering into a Democrat versus Republican thing. You know doggone well it ain't got nothing to do with Democrat versus Republican. That's why they call it the present. And it's up to you. That's what they taught you in the MAGA talking points class. Tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift. So don't let the pain of your past bleed into your present and poison your future. I responded directly on your comment. You put the exact same comment about the 43%, yada, 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 on one of my posts, and I responded to it. It's an indication that you're flying too low. So set your sights a little higher. Remember, eagles fly by themselves. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. Allow your challenges to be a stepping stone to propel you into new possibilities. So be discontent with your past accomplishments. You're only as great as your last success. So maintain your hunger and your passion. Remember this, within every seed there is a tree. In every tree there is a forest. Who and what you were born into is simply the environment to prepare you for your ultimate purpose. It was not a setback, it was a setup. Your purpose and potential is bigger than your past pain or problem. That it gave to you. Listen to your heart, don't let your mind fool you. Remember the talk that it gave to you. Whatever you do is gonna surely come back to you. Successful people will do the things they hate to get the things they love. Much of life is about sacrifice. You gotta give up something to get something. Success is not about what you've accomplished, but it's what you have overcome. For it's the test that you pass in life which qualifies you for the next level. You have to be willing to face your challenges and overcome them. Most people drive 12,000 miles a year moving forward, but most accidents are caused when they move backwards. You gotta stay focused on what's ahead of you instead of what's behind you.
It's your daily routine that determines your success or failure. Whatever you practice at is what you become great at. What's more important than being intelligent is having the right attitude. Respect costs you nothing, but it will cost you everything not to have it. So don't be too smart for your own good. Remember, a hard head makes a soft behind. What's more important than your five senses is common sense. The heart of a fool is in his mouth, but the heart of a wise man is in his character. So don't sweat the small things. The answer for a short temper is a long walk. Be slow to speak, quick to listen, and remember.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Black Love Experience. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan, the second TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, it's the end of the week, and it's good to be with you. Well, it's been a heart-wrenching week in America. Gutting the Civil Rights Act of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Redrawing districts to get rid of seats held by black people. Basically, Jim Crow 2.0. Jim Crow 2.0. And what's most disheartening is the number of sycophantic, MAGA-aligned, coonish black people that are defending this move to take us back to the time that our grandparents fought to get us out of. Yeah, we got handkerchief head Negroes who are defending this. Preachers stepping to their pulpits defending this, claiming America's not racist. Cynthia's in my comment section trying to make gerrymandering a Democrat versus Republican thing. And they keep trying to frame gerrymandering like that. But we know for Black America, it's always fundamentally been about race and power. The reason, Cynthia, okay, the reason, I'm answering you now. You said you didn't see my response. The reason the Voting Rights Act was necessary in the first place is because white political systems intentionally manipulated districts, manipulated voting rules, put on poll taxes, literacy tests, and used intimidation tactics specifically to dilute black voting strength after black people gained the right to vote and sent black people to Congress. They gerrymandered to get rid of black seats. When majority black districts are targeted, are dismantled like they did in Tennessee with carving up the blackest city in Tennessee of Memphis, when they're cracked apart or when they're packed into irrelevance, it ain't accidental. It's done because black votes, black people voting collectively, have the power to influence elections and public policy. And if this was simply partisan politics, it was simply about Democrat versus Republican, and incidentally, this started happening before there was a Democrat or a Republican Party. So stop. Pick up a history book. Learn your history before you try to make racism about Democrat versus Republican. There wasn't no Democrats or Republicans when they enslaved our ancestors. Okay? If this was simply partisan politics, why is it only majority black districts that are targeted? Answer that, Cynthia. Why are the efforts to suppress votes concentrated in black communities? Why are the courts repeatedly finding racial intent intertwined with redistricting schemes. Because the reality is that white conservatives are comfortable with democracy only as long as black political power remains limited. Or if black people happen to get elected, they are aligned with their political interests. And this is why attacks on voting rights always rise alongside. It's not a coincidence that this is happening right while they're attacking black history, while they're attacking DEI, affirmative action, civil rights protections. They're all connected. And the objective is not simply to defeat the Democrats. The objective is to maintain white political dominance. And calling that out is not playing the race card. It's recognizing the pattern America has repeated since Reconstruction. From slavery to Jim Crow, to redlining, to mass incarceration, to voter suppression, the names change, but the targets remain the same. Black progress, black power, black participation in democracy. And every time, y'all put that in the comment section, every time there's black progress, there's white backlash. 413-736-2781, 413-736-2781. Yeah, we're talking about it today. America is racist. And then I've got some guests coming up half past the hour, so we're going to make this real quick. So stick and stay with us. Don't go nowhere. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now. We'll be right back.
You say you sold out because black women are loud and crass. What? And your precious white woman is the epitome of class? Are you so blind that you cannot see? That pale girl child ain't got nothing on me. For hundreds of years we have stood by your side, accepted your flaws and allowed you your pride, bore your children and cleaned up your mess, satisfied your lust and always settled for less. We have stayed in the background and allowed you to lead, trusting in your strength and ability to succeed, never getting the praise and credit we deserve, but having the courage, the will, and the nerve, for being the backbone that has kept it together, for you and our children in all kinds of weather. And now suddenly you say we're not good enough for you. We forced you to sell out because of the things we did. Well, where was that white woman when that white man you hate was cracking the whip? In the boardroom, the warehouse, and on the slave ship. She stood by his side and didn't say a word, waiting for her own chance to rule and be heard. And now it's her you turn to and treat like a queen? And me and my sisters you choose to demean? Well, hold up, wait a minute, and stop the damn bus. Because there are a few things I need to remind you about us. Listen up. A more beautiful creature God never made than an African woman, no matter her shade. High, yellow, red bone, or cocoa brown, we are more than worthy of wearing a crown. Ebony, mocha, or black as the night. It is we who have always shared in your plight. We are passionate, spiritual, loving, and kind. A more generous heart you'll never find than the one that beats inside the body of a Nubian queen, the hardest working, loving, giving woman you've ever seen. For we give and forgive until there's little left. Then we're forced to put up our guard to avoid your theft. The theft of our hearts and our trust, the very nature of our soul, by our so-called brothers who are just playing a role. And you wonder why some of us act as we do? Take a look in the mirror, because the answer is you. It's not enough that the white man has always tried to keep us down, but our own men act as though they'd love to see us drown. And white women have never invited us to join their equal rights struggle. So we're out here alone with a million things we juggle. Raising the children that black men leave behind and dealing with the racism of the daily corporate grind. Damn, it's no wonder some of us are loud. Hell, we're just trying to be heard. In a world where everyone, including our men, ignore our every word. Where are the brothers who understand a black woman's worth? Right here, who will protect and stand by us, for we are the salt of this earth. We birthed you, raised you, and showered you with love. It was we who taught you to love your creator above. We gave you all we had and taught you to be men. Open your eyes, it is us, your black sisters, not Bo Derek's kind who rate a perfect 10. And one final word for the sellout who claim to be brothers. When you turn your back on us, you disrespect your mothers. Did you hear that? This is a response to the sellout.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of WTCC Radio or Springfield Technical Community College.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Black Love Experience. Bishop Talbert Swan with you. Listen, on this morning at 10 a.m., 185 Industry Ave, our day session workshops, our annual women's convention of the Greater Massachusetts Jurisdiction is happening. I'm preaching tonight at 7. You're welcome to join us at the New Mercies Church of God in Christ. Listen, America's racism is no longer hiding. For years, black people were told that racism was a relic of the past. They keep trying to tell us, oh, racism dies out with the younger generations. Yeah, but as an activist who has had to fight against racism, in school bullying from 13, 14-year-old white kids holding mock slave auctions and stuff, they got it from somewhere. So I suggest to you that it's not dying. It's being passed down from generation to generation. We've been told that the election of black officials, the presence of diversity initiatives, and all that kind of stuff was evidence that America had somehow transcended its original sin. And we were lectured that if we simply worked harder, pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps, complained less, stopped playing the race card, that equality would just naturally come. But it's 2026 and the mask is off. The Supreme Court continued dismantling the Voting Rights Act. They opened the floodgates for states to aggressively dilute black political power. What my grandmother's generation and my parents' generation marched for, bled for, died to secure is now being stripped away in broad daylight. They're not even being slick about it, not even trying to be smooth about it, not even trying to be covert about it. The actions in Tennessee yesterday on the National Day of Prayer to abolish the state's only majority black congressional district. It's not an isolated incident. It's part of a coordinated national strategy, Project 2025, to reduce black political influence wherever black voters demonstrate electoral power. This is not about Democrat versus Republican. This is not about election integrity. It's not about fair maps. It's not about protecting democracy. It's about maintaining power by weakening black representation. And it's happening with boldness because they are no longer afraid of being called racist. They got Donald Trump, they got a Klan member at the head of the U.S. government, and they have been emboldened to be what they are and what they have always been. What's that, Bishop Swan? I'm glad you asked. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I'm sorry to say that the majority of whites in America are racist, either consciously or unconsciously. That's the Dr. King quote you're not going to hear on MLK Day. They no longer feel the need to hide their racism. No longer feel the need to, use the coded language and the political euphemisms. And at the same time that black voting strength is being targeted, America is witnessing an unprecedented assault on black history itself. Institutions like the National Museum of African American History and Culture and the Smithsonian Institute have become targets of political hostility because they tell the truth that white Americans want erased. Books about slavery and segregation and racism and civil rights are being banned and restricted. African American study programs are under attack. DEI being dismantled across universities, corporations, governments, agencies. Why? Because history threatens those who benefit from people being ignorant. Okay? If people understand the truth about this country's racial history, then they'll understand that the inequities we see today are not accidental. They are the result of deliberate policy decisions that have been enforced over centuries through violence, codified into law, intimidation tactics, economic exclusion, all of that. All of that. It's problematic, y'all. But listen, we have to be diligent in terms of our response, because what makes this moment especially dangerous is that racism is no longer operating primarily through subtlety. America has entered a phase where people feel emboldened to publicly celebrate the rollback of civil rights protections. I mean, the purging of hundreds of thousands of black women from federal employment is devastating, not only because of the economic impact, but because they have historically represented one of the most educated, stable, and civically engaged sectors of America. The removal of black leaders from high-ranking government positions sends a deliberate message about who is considered legitimate in the halls of power and who is not. Brothers and sisters, when voting rights are dismantled, specifically in ways that harm black voters, that's not partisanship. That's racism. I know you don't like that word. I know it makes you feel uncomfortable, but that's what it is. And see, people say, well, just stop talking about it. If you stop talking about cancer, is it going to go away? Since when is the diagnosis of a disease the problem and not the disease itself? Oh, so much I got to say about this subject. I got to take a break because I've got special guests today. And this is mainly for our local community, but I know that it will be a benefit to our wider audience. I want to talk about the Shannon Community Safety Initiative, particularly here in Massachusetts. It's a state-funded violence prevention and intervention program that's created to reduce gang involvement, youth violence, and community crime through a coordinated, evidence-based strategy. It was established back in 2006 and named after former Massachusetts Senator Charles Shannon. And the program is administered through the Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security's Office of Grants and Research. And it focuses on several major strategies, but let me bring the experts up. Let me bring Matthew Benoit from the Springfield Police Department, and also Kyla Raymer, who worked diligently with the partners in Springfield. And let me get him in here. I'm trying to get him in here. Let me see. All right, let me see now. There's got to be a way. I'll tell you what, let me take a quick music break and see if I can work out what's happening here. Because it is. I think we're back up. Let me see. All right, now let me see if my guests are still here. Let me see if I can get them on now. For whatever reason, we are having some real issues with this stream today. Let me get another music break. And no, okay, I think I got it now. Let me see if I can get them on here. Oh, I think I got Kyla.
Hi.
I can't hear you.
Oh, let's see.
All right, let's see if we can get y'all where we can hear.
Can you hear me now? No.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Ah, there you go. I can hear you now. Well, praise Jesus. It took a
Can you hear
while
me?
for us to get it here. And, technology is something else. But sometimes you have to make adjustments in terms of how to really make it work. Welcome. It took us a minute to get you up here, but you're here now. Good morning to
Good
both
Morning.
of you.
morning.
How are you?
Doing well. Happy it's Friday.
Yeah, it is Friday, and thank goodness it is Friday. And we're rolling into the weekend, thank goodness. But yeah, there's been a lot of conversations that have been happening around the Shannon grant. And I want to make sure that people um, have an opportunity to really know what it's all about. And I thought that it would be good to have you all to come on to the program and kind of help us flesh that out. In terms of what the Shannon Community Safety Grant is all about. So um, let's start with you, Mr. Benoit, and then Kyla, you can chime in whenever you want.
Yeah.
And first of all, there are 5 major strategy areas. Talk a little bit about what that's about, because oftentimes people think it's just about gun violence and stopping gun violence. That's part of it, but there's so much more that the Shannon Grant focuses on. So give us the full scope of what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the
Oh,
get a little feedback here. The 5 cores are social intervention, suppression, opportunity provision, organizational change, and community mobilization. So essentially, it combines prevention, community partnership, and targeted enforcement. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Sorry.
Yeah. Me too.
okay. I'm not hearing the feedback. Okay, go right ahead.
All right. It's just echoing when I'm talking, so it's distracting.
Oh my. Okay. Let me see. Try it now. I don't know if there's anything on this end that I can do, because I'm not hearing the feedback myself.
Okay. Oh, that's a little bit better. Yeah. So again, Shannon combines the prevention, intervention, community partnerships, and targeted enforcement to reduce youth and gang violence. It creates better opportunities for the youth. The age range for Shannon, 10 to 24 years old, living in high risk or violent impact areas in these at risk of gang involvement or already involved in gang activity. So the grant goes through the PD from the state, and through their partners are selected throughout the community for all their different programs that they offer for the youth. The PD portion of it is primarily suppression, but we do utilize a portion of the grant for our student resource officers to attend local partners, just to get them interacting with the youth, and having that positive interaction. The suppression typically goes through our investigative units, and it's utilized for warrant sweeps and things like that. It's not targeted enforcement or high risk or hotspot policing per se. Obviously, if there's an uptick of identified gang activity in an area, then we can have the availability to deploy officers to those areas. But it's mainly used for getting the high prolific offenders off the street.
Gotcha. So when we talk about the partners, Kyla, and he talked about that there's a process by which partners are selected. Talk a little bit about the partners and the various programs that they have in terms of the Shannon activity, and because they all do similar things, but some very different things.
Yeah, so this year there are 17 partners, including the PD, and they range from mentorship, therapy, counseling, all the way from job employment, education programs, college prep, and recreation. Like it covers all types of extracurricular activities. So there's a wide range from intervention, prevention, and with the suppression portion from the PD that is covered within all of these partners.
So when we evaluate the effectiveness of this program, I know there's an evaluation piece to this that goes through you all and through the state. So this is not just throwing money at the wind. This is also doing the work. First of all, it's an evidence-based program. That's what people need to understand. But then there's an evaluation that determines the impact of the program. Talk a little bit about that.
So there are risk assessments that are provided by the research partners that are the state side, and they provide this assessment to identify the risk levels of the youth within their program. And there's a wide range of different questions. If there's gang activity in the home, if there's a one parent household, all different types of evaluation. A lot of the time in these programs, the youth need to be comfortable with their whether it's their coach, their counselor, even if it's a job opportunity, their employer. And these programs, they have to be comfortable. Some of these questions that they're asking are difficult for youth to answer. They tend to project in a different direction or just answer falsely because they don't want to be at risk. If you understand what I'm saying, that.
Absolutely.
In their mind, it's their problem. They feel like they're the only ones that can handle it. The community is here to help. These programs,
Now,
Go ahead.
I was going to say a lot of times, because of a historic tension that has existed between um, the PD and the community. Sometimes people are, uh, uh, question the involvement of the police department. Um, Mr. Benoit, talk about the partnership between the police and the partners and how you all work together to try to prevent these young people from getting involved in activity that can be detrimental to them.
Absolutely. So we meet with the partners on a monthly basis in person to just talk about programs, current issues, any trends they're seeing, and we try to do our best to support them. Obviously, it wouldn't work without the partners, right? It's all about relationships, and we don't know what we don't know. So the partners are out in the community, and if they want police present at their programs, I coordinate
Need
that.
that.
Feedback.
Feedback.
But yeah, so
So
the
the
police
police
department is
department is
here
here
to
to
support the
support the
partners
partners
in their
in their
programs.
programs.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
sorry.
The
The
screen
screen
changed, and I
changed
thought
and
I
I thought I
lost you.
lost you.
No, you're live and in color. You're on the screen all by yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
so we
we
continue
continued
to work with the partners to assess their needs with the programs, but also hold them accountable in regards to the product they are producing and providing to the youth of the city. Because obviously that's what it's about, is protecting the youth, keeping them out of trouble, giving them something to do, and getting them in the right direction.
Now the what we saw, of course, we're seeing this a lot because of the major funding shifts with this administration that has been in, and every state has been impacted by it. Um, Kyla, talk a little bit about um, the first of all the impact that Shannon has had, because many of us who have done work with youth have always had the experience. I walked into a young lady um, in a grocery store a couple years back. Didn't recognize her, and she said, "Mr. Swan," and she told me her name, and she said, "We were in your youth program years ago when I was, you know, 10 years old," and she told me the impact it had on her. And at that time, she was a senior in college, getting ready to graduate, and was just telling me how impactful the program was and how it helped her to get to where she is. These are stories that our partners hear all the time from young people who go through their programs. So, talk about the impact of these programs and the fact that the funding has been cut and the need for these funds to continue a program such as Shannon.
Absolutely. In our last partner meeting, we actually got some feedback from the youth saying that if they did not have this program, they would be lost. They would be in crisis. They would be getting into trouble. So even these kids know that if they weren't at the program, they would, who knows what they'd be doing. Getting into trouble. This year was the biggest cut that Shannon has seen in years. And this was about over 30% cut. And this wasn't just Springfield, this was across the state. And moving forward, this is $13.4 million that was taken from the Shannon line item in the budget. So think of all those youth youth that will not have programs moving forward because the funding just isn't there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a major impact. We're going to be having some of the partners come on periodically um, to kind of highlight their programs because I think the community needs to know exactly what they are doing, the impact that they're having on our young people. Um, what would you say the community could do to support these partners and support the efforts that are out there in terms of impacting their lives and keeping them on the straight and narrow and away from the activities that will not be good for their futures?
Personally, I think parents should actually get their kids into these programs and be willing to work organizations to help the organization. A lot of times that we is there's no transportation. Parents aren't bringing their kids to the program. There's no way to get them there. There's no way at home. So they're at home. And we're looking at options to have transportation, maybe a part of Shannon, to get these youth to the program. In the community. I don't know if there's anybody in the community that would be willing in the future apply, willing to volunteer, get some youth to the program.
Absolutely, Mr. Benoit. What would your response be to that same question?
So you don't know what you don't know, right? And I think there's a lot of lack of awareness of the Shannon programs throughout the city. A lot of the community meetings I've been to when I brought Shannon up, people didn't know what I was talking about. So they don't know what they are. They don't know what's available. And obviously, this is why we're on your show today to bring more awareness of the Shannon program. So I think once the word gets out there and spreads, and I guess word of mouth is huge, right? If you have friends and family or know youth that would benefit from being involved in programs, reach out to the PD, and we can assist with pointing you in the direction of programs in your area. And then, like Kyle said, transportation is a big issue. And we as a PD are trying to work on that and figure out what a solution to help out all the.
All right. I want to thank both of you all for coming on today. I know you're busy. I know it's Friday. And thank you for the work that you're doing with the Shannon Partners, to positively impact the youth of our city. Any final remarks? Ladies first.
Thank you for having me on your show. This is a great opportunity for us to advocate for Shannon and all the programs that are offered through the city.
All right.
Again, thank you, Reverend, for having us on your program. We appreciate you bringing more awareness to the Shannon program, and we appreciate the work that you do. Thank you, and be safe.
All right. Thank you both, and we're looking forward to bringing more of our Shannon partners onto the program in the coming weeks, because I think it's important for you all to have a good understanding. A lot of times you hear whispers that are out there. You hear people who may talk about things, but not from an informed perspective. And sometimes it's just good to have good information. To hear it directly from the sources, to hear it directly from the people who are on the ground doing the work, as opposed to the rah-rah rhetoric that's sometimes out there. And so we'll continue to bring the partners on periodically so that you can know what's happening here in your city. 413-736 2781 413 736 2781 is the number here. Man, they changed me up here on Restream with some of our functionality. So we're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. Diligent in terms of what is happening. This is a long game, and what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is what we see or what we saw happen this week. 60 years in the making. They've been planning on figuring out how to abolish the Voting Rights Act for 60 years. They played a long game. Matter of fact, do you not know that the architect of Project 2025 has a PhD in African American studies? All three of his degrees, his undergraduate degree, his master's degree, his doctorate degree, have to do with studying African Americans. He dedicated his life to studying African Americans and then took all of that knowledge into figuring out how to disenfranchise them, subjugate them, strip away their rights and their humanity. That's a long game, ladies and gentlemen. That's some serious dedication. And the question is, are we going to be in it for the long game, or are we going to be in it just for a photo opportunity? Or just for an Instagram post to say we were at a protest, or we said something, or we made a post, or we did something? Yeah, we're going to have to fight like our ancestors fought, because we're in Jim Crow 2.0. Coming up next is the one, the only Mr. Don Felton. He's coming up next with mid-morning jazz and great black music. He's going to make it smooth. Not only is he going to make it smooth, he's going to make it personal. So keep it locked right here on 90.7. I'll be back with you on Monday on the spoken word, and looking forward to kicking it with you guys again at that time. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you. So do I. Peace and blessings.
They took the gospel and dipped it in bleach, hung it out to dry in the sun of white supremacy, pressed it with patriotism and handed it back to